Hey guys, how's it going? So I hope that you're all keeping really safe and well, and that you have stocks of what you need, and that there are people around you if you can't go out that can help you and pick up the strain. As of last night, Boris Johnson, our Prime Minister, declared that we are now in an enforced lockdown situation. People cannot leave their homes apart from one of four reasons. I can't remember all four. One is to buy food and like get medicines and stuff. One is to go to work, specifically if you're a key worker, I think. I'm not sure I was even really bothered about the other two. Those were the really important ones to me. I've literally decided about 12 seconds ago that I'm going to start doing quarantine diaries, and this isn't going to be usual content. There's not going to be any editing, there's not going to be any scripting, there's not going to be probably any recipes. I don't know, that might happen. These are literally going to be hopefully enlightening. That's the wrong word. They're hopefully going to be a little bit of visual relief for you guys that are stuck indoors, that are bored, that are getting really antsy about being in lockdown. I'm very lucky that I live on a farm in Cornwall. So I've got animals and I have to go out, and we're allowed to go out on the farm. It's not a problem. I appreciate that not everyone is in that situation. So I figured that, do you know what? I'm just going to start vlogging. Now I have to, I have to declare that yes, we're on lockdown and we're not allowed out. However, I am actually out. I'm in Mum's car. She's got little golf. I do feel like a fugitive right now. I kind of feel like I should have a balaclava on. There's a bakery that we love and it's a 40-minute drive away, and we want to support them as a small business because they've lost all their all their hotels and all their restaurants. They've lost all those orders because they've all been shut down here in the UK. So they are supplying more bakery products to smaller shops around Cornwall, which is brilliant. So they are still getting money in, and they are supplying to customers like us. We can just turn up and I've already pre-ordered what we want. However, I do need to say that I can buy bread 3 miles from home in a little corner shop. I phoned this order up a couple of days ago so that they could build our order into their workflow, because they work ahead because they're a bakery obviously, and I didn't want to just go in and buy up all their stock and then leave other people hungry. So the long and the short of it is, before Boris Johnson announced that we're in, you can only go out for essentials and make those trips as infrequent as possible. I already had this order in, so we've already added to this bakery's workflow, and I don't then want to not turn up and them to be out of pocket because they've baked extra for us, if you see what I mean. There's also a few households on our farm, so this isn't just for me and Johnny. Although I could quite happily sit and eat all these bags of groceries because their bread is so good. So it's a beautiful sunny day here in Cornwall, and I didn't even think, like when I left home, I wasn't even thinking that I was going to do this little video series. So I haven't even got a tripod. So this little bit of footage is going to be really crappy. But hey, when's that ever stopped me? Anyway, I'm going to crack on and get down to the bakery, and then when I get home I'll show you what I bought, and I'll take you about my day on the farm and show you what I get up to. Okay, so I'm at Dehydrating Bakery. I'm not sure that they're actually open yet. I hope so. I think it's 8 AM that they open. So they're actually blocking off the entrance to the shop. So they're going to be handing the produce over. I'm just going to go and pay and grab my bags and run back to the car with them to try and keep these guys safe as much as anything, because these guys are important. Okay, mission accomplished. Johnny and I have got 2 of their beautiful sourdough loaves. When this is all over and you guys come back to Cornwall, please go and check out that bakery. Their bread is amazing, as are... This is the best bit, hang on. These are their cinnamon buns. These things have won awards. They are that good. So I'm actually going to sit here. I have gelled my hands and I also wore gloves. I'm going to sit here and eat this as my breakfast and make a hell of a mess in Mum's car. I'm sure she won't mind. It's medicinal. It's so good. Bang goes the diet, eh? Alrighty, I am now home from my little illicit trip to the bakery. I'm going to get these loaves into the freezer This is their lovely sourdough bread, which we absolutely love. We've got 3, so 2 are in the freezer and 1 we're going to start for this lunchtime. I think I might make Johnny some egg mayonnaise for his sandwiches for today. He loves the egg mayo, and our new chickens are laying like Billy-O, which is really good timing. We're actually gifting our neighbours boxes of eggs at the moment because we have too many for my whole family to get through, and it kind of makes sense that we spread the love around at the moment. These are my cinnamon buns, and I'm going to cut them in half because A, I can't be trusted, and B, I don't know when we're next going to get down to Debarra. It could well be months. So I want to kind of spread these out just a little bit and make them last just that little bit longer. Oh God, I'm really sorry if these are making your mouth water, but they are. You see the bottom's all crusty and delicious, and oh God, I've already eaten one and my mouth is salivating. Anyway, these are going in the freezer. Hopefully they're going to last 8 days. Let's not make any promises though. Okay, so next up on today's list is we're going to make some dehydrated ginger, or ginger bits as they're known in my family. And basically they're very thin strips of ginger root that we dry out in the dehydrator until they're snappy dry. That's all I've got left. I don't use this very much. I kind of use ginger tea as a medicine. So if anyone's got nausea or just feeling a bit off colour, or feeling, you know, when you're really chilled to the bone, it's a really warming drink. So that's when I use it more medicinally. However, my mother loves the stuff. So every few months she buys me a big bag. Normally she gets a kilo. This is just over half a kilo. So I don't know if that was because stocks were low and this is all she could order, but she's passed over this bag for me to slice up and to dehydrate for her. So let's get that done. And because it's not a full kilo, I'm not going to be filling up the dehydrator. So I've got some veggies to stick in as well, just so we're not running a half full dehydrator. So I've just got the plain guide in the bottom, so it's set on the thinnest setting on the mandolin. And obviously you need to be careful of your fingers doing this. And you'll see that it just makes these beautiful, evenly sliced slices. And then we're just going to lay the pieces out onto the dehydrator sheet, making sure there's a little bit of a gap between each piece for the air to flow around. And any tiny pieces we put on this finer mesh, because as these dry, obviously they shrink. And if they're on these trays where there's just the gaps, then the little bits can easily fall through. And the nice thing about using a mandolin over using a knife to cut your ginger is that obviously you're getting even slices, so they'll dry at roughly the same rate. It's always kind of like a puzzle, trying to make these fit on the trays as efficiently as possible. If anyone wants to know which dehydrator I use, I can't actually remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I will leave a link to it down below. It's the second dehydrator we've owned and I freaking love it. It has 6 of these trays in it and it's really, really efficient. You can change the temperature. You can obviously let it run for as long or as little as you like. It's a really, really good bit of kit if you're into foraging, or if you grow your own fruit and veg, or if you just like the ability to store things for a little bit longer without using electricity, because obviously freezers are brilliant. But at times like this, when, you know, is there going to be a future problem with our electricity source? We just don't know at this point. So I've got these bags of vegetables, and in here is carrots and sweet corn and peas and broccoli, red pepper, that's it. It's just chopped up veggies from the supermarket, and all I'm going to do is empty these out completely frozen and pop them on the dehydrator sheets too, purely because I've got these 2 trays empty. I probably wouldn't bother putting the dehydrator on just for 1 or 2 bags of these, unless I specifically wanted them dehydrated for a reason, like if I was going camping or whatever. But because I've got spare space in there, it makes sense to free up some of that room in the freezer. Now it's fine putting these into the dehydrator already frozen, because there's a really gentle heat and airflow in a dehydrator. That's how it works. So it will first defrost them and then very, very slowly dry them out until they're crispy dry. And again, you need to use a sheet liner with vegetables like this, because the sweet corn and peas are going to become absolutely minuscule as they dry. Now I do have another bag here. I'm obviously not going to have room to put those on too. And you do ideally want to leave space around every single vegetable. So I might have a little bit too much on here, but it's still going to dry. It's just going to take a little bit longer. And there we go. Okay, now we switch it on. And in terms of what temperature, you've got this drying guide here. So if we go with vegetables, which is between 49 degrees and 57 degrees. So there we are, we're on just below 57. Perfect. Now I've put that on for 8 hours. It might take longer, it might take shorter than that. I never bother with timings. I just let the thing run. It can't over dry a vegetable. Obviously it can under dry and you just put it on for a bit longer. So I'm not precious about how long things stay on to get dried. And with vegetables like the carrots, they'll snap in half. It'll be really easy to tell when they're dry enough. Right, I need to now clean this bomb site of the kitchen up, and then I think it's time for a nice cup of coffee. So I reckon now is a very good time to introduce you to my new chicken run, my new chicken coop, and my new chickens, which is very, very exciting to a country bumpkin like me. Behind me over there, that's the old chicken run, which was good. We had maximum of 8 chickens in there at any one time. Horrible house. I'll show you that chicken house one day, so that if you ever go out to buy a new chicken house, you know what not to buy. And we've moved the run, we've quadrupled it in size. We've got a shed, an 8 foot by 6 foot shed, which just makes my life so much easier. It makes it much nicer for the chickens too. And I'm just off to see if we've got any eggs. So let's go. And there it is. So if you imagine, that shed is 8 foot long, and that's how long the run is. So pretty substantial, and the chooks absolutely love it. Oh, hi girls, you coming to see what's going on? So there's their pop hole to the outside world. That bucket I use to collect poop. I come in every morning and I poo pick. These are their nest boxes where, as you can see, we have struck gold in here today, so I'll collect them up. And then up here is their roost. This is an old wooden ladder that Johnny's cut up for me, so they roost on here at night time, and some of them also prefer roosting on the edge of the ledge. Down there is a dust bath that's just got builder's sand in it. It's still quite wet. We only put that in yesterday, I think. When that's dried out, I've got some medicated red mite powder to put in there. We do get red mites really, really bad, so I'm hopeful that this house will make it much easier to keep the red mites under control. This is the sawdust that we use on the floor and on their poop shelf. In case you were wondering, a chicken sleeps on like a branch, if you imagine. They're jungle fowl originally, so they like to sleep on a wooden roost, and they poop a lot. So I've put this sawdust down underneath, and that collects the poop. And then every morning I come in and I use my mucky marigold glove, and I pop that on and I just pick up the poop and I put it into the bucket to dispose of. And that's it. Every night I do shut that little pop hole door. We've got a piece of string up to here. I don't know that we would get problems with foxes or badgers. We have had in the past. We've lost a lot of animals over the years to foxes. It's just a bit of a prevention, because at the moment, obviously, if we lose any chickens, we can't just pop out and get some new ones. So I'm getting between 5 and 8 eggs a day at the moment. I've got 5 brand new chickens that are point of lay, and a chicken lays an egg generally once a day for the first 18 months of its life. So that's 6 so far. We'll probably get a couple more because it's still quite early for them, and then I'll just pop that in there and then come and get that tonight. And then back outside, this is their monstrously huge run. They're very, very happy. That metal thing there, the square thing, that's their feeder. So they tread on that pedal, it lifts the lid up, and then they can get to the feed that's inside. That's rat proof and crow proof, mouse proof, so it only activates when a chicken stands on it, which is quite handy. This is their waterer, so I fill that up every 3 or 4 days with fresh water. And then this is part of our old allotment. So up there, those 3 boxes there, that used to be our compost bins. So the girls are absolutely loving getting in there and scuffling through it all, and collecting all the bugs. And then down in this far corner, this is where we're throwing all the sawdust and their poop from the coop. And we're also putting all our lawn mowing clippings as well. And they just scuffle through that. And over time, we're going to get lots of bugs in there for them. And they'll really enjoy getting in there and scuffling it all up. So like I say, we've got five new hens that are all laying 1 egg a day, thereabouts. We've got, I think, 5 rescue hens that we got last summer during filming of the TV show, and we've still got a couple, I think 3 maybe, of our original chickens from like 2.5, 3 years ago. So the older hens aren't laying anymore. If they are laying, unfortunately one of them's laying with no shell, just like a very thin membrane. As a chicken gets older, the quality of the shell deteriorates rapidly. If things get worse in terms of not being able to find chicken feed, etc., then we will have to remove the older girls from the flock and just keep the young girls that are actually producing eggs, because, well, that's the reality of farming, isn't it? Hey, so I don't suppose you've ever seen my office before. Welcome to my office. I'm sat here, coffee in hand, and I'm about to edit a video which is for BioLite. I don't know if you know anything about the BioLite stove. I don't even know if you can see it in that picture. This is the stove here, and I got sent one and I got a chance to play with it yesterday. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I love this thing. This is the stove. This is like the kettle pot, which is a cooking pot and kettle all in one. And then this is the, like, it turns this bit into a cafetiere or French press. I didn't actually use this because this is massive. It would make like 6 or 8 cups of coffee, and there was only me home, so I haven't used that bit. But I used these 2 things yesterday and I was very impressed. Spoiler alert. So I'm just going to get this one edited, and I'll probably publish this on Friday, my normal Friday time slot. And then I think I'm going to do these quarantine day vlog thingies. I'm going to try and put these out daily, but who knows? With all the crazy that's going on, I don't know if that's feasible or not. I don't really know what else I can do for you guys. I kind of feel that if anyone gets any entertainment value or gets to not think about the crazy that's going on around them, then it will be of value, me putting these videos out. I shall leave that for you guys to tell me. I have no idea. I'm just a little bumpkin. I can't see that what I do here is very interesting, but if it kind of unstresses you for 5 or 10 minutes of your day, then I am happy to continue. Right, so let me crack on, and then I think I might take you out for a walk afterwards. I'll see you in a bit. Lunch on the go, a couple of fried eggs on toast with some whole grain mustard. That sounds like a winner. Sorry about the noise in the background. The dehydrator is still going. And actually, let's give you a quick update on the dehydrator. So there's a nice big piece there, all stuck together. Definitely drying out, but kind of leathery now. So a few more hours and it'll be good. Let's have a quick look at the veggies. Where were they? So obviously they're all defrosted now. They're kind of warm, but they're still wet. This tray is going to take quite a while. Oh yeah, get in my belly. Okay, I'm just washing these out in cold water. Honestly, there's probably no need to do this. It's not like there have been dogs in that field. It's not public access, it's just a little corner of our farm. But I kind of feel I should be washing everything at the moment. I think I might be getting some OCD about keeping things clean. And interestingly, I've noticed that there's not very much in this world that I can like control at the moment. I feel things are very much out of my control, which I guess I don't like. I guess I am a little bit of a control freak. And it kind of feels like the only thing I can do is keep my house clean. And I've never really been one of those women that loves cleaning. Like, I'm a slob when it comes to cleaning. But at the moment, I'm really enjoying keeping my house together and tidy and clean. It seems to just be that one little bit of control that I don't seem to be able to have in the bigger world right now. It's very strange. Definitely a good side effect though, because it means I've got a lovely tidy house right now. So I'm just pulling off any like nasty looking leaves or chewed leaves or brown leaves. Also, I've probably just grabbed some grass in here as well, because I literally just grabbed it by the handful. Again, this is our property, this is in our field, nobody else has access to this, so I don't feel bad going and pulling up a whole handful of it. My mum actually wants that patch of wild garlic to be destroyed because she sees it as a weed, and I'm like, no, we can eat it, don't destroy it. So if I was picking this in the wild, in areas where other people have access to, then I would be much more thoughtful about how I gathered it. But like I said, when it's on your own land, you kind of have the luxury of not having to think about that so much. So please be aware, although I was being brutal of the amount that I was taking and where I was taking it from, it's perfectly fine because it's our own property. This is called tri-cornered leek or three-cornered leek. It's got this pretty little white flower on it, or little white bunch of flowers, and it kind of looks like bluebells in the wild, except obviously they're white. But what gives it away is its stem. And I've shown you this on the channel before, but here in Cornwall, because this loves damp, dark, woodlandy kind of areas, and we get a lot of rain in Cornwall, we have lots of damp areas. But if you can see that stem, it's a triangle, hence the name three-cornered or tri-cornered leek. So it's a wild leek. I use this instead of ramsons or wild garlic perfectly well. Every part is edible, the stem, the flower and the leaf. And also I did notice that I also pulled one up by the bulb. That wasn't on purpose. And again, if you're picking this in the wild, that's actually illegal. Please never pull up a wild plant by the root, it is illegal. Again, we're on our own property, so I can't get into trouble for this, and I don't actually mind. Like I said, it's seen as a weed site, this area that I picked them from. So, but yeah, that's what the plant itself looks like. And it's lovely, and it tastes just like ramsons. And when you walk down a lovely Cornish lane this time of year, so what we now March, you can smell garlic all around you. Chances are it's going to be this, either this or ramsons. Okay, when it's all nice and washed and clean, just pat it dry as much as possible. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of moisture left in there, but try and get off as much as you can. Okay, now let's make some pesto. So this isn't ideal, I'm shooting into the sun, but I'm sure you're going to forgive me today. Are you? Are you? I hope so. So just going to break that up and chuck it in the food processor. Now is some olive oil. Now in a traditional pesto we'd be putting in pine nuts, but you know, I really struggle to put these in pesto unless it's for a really special occasion. These puppies are expensive, so instead I'm actually going to use these mixed nuts, and in here is peanuts, cashews, almonds and walnuts, and it will be fine. Yes, it will taste a little bit different than if we just use pine nuts, but it will still be really delicious, and that, my friends, is what's important. Again, in traditional pesto you'd be using a parmesan, however it's the end of the world and I'm all out of parmesan, who knew? So I'm just using some extra mature cheddar cheese. And for the record, that's all I ever buy when it comes to cheddar, is the extra mature stuff, because it has a lot more flavour than the milder ones, so you can use less when you're using it in cooking and stuff. You don't need to use as much. Handy little hint from the front line there. Oh, yummy! Look at all that green. Okay, quick taste. O-M freaking G. God, that's delicious. Some Cornish sea salt, best salt in the world. This stuff is amazing. I love it. Okay, let's give it another zhuzhin. Right, I'm going to keep some of this in the fridge to use, and I'm also going to freeze some for later. But don't that look pretty? So this is just a little silicone mold. So all I do is dollop my pesto in there, and then I freeze it overnight, and then the next day you just pop them out into a little baggie, a little Ziploc or something, or a little plastic tub to keep in your freezer, and you've always got fresh wild garlic pesto on hand. You're welcome. Alrighty, it is now 4:20 in the afternoon. I'm on a second wind. I'm about to have another coffee. Thank you. Straighten yourselves up out there, guys. Come on, let's not let standard slip. The noise of this thing is doing me head in now. I want it switched off. So let's have a quick check. I have shifted around. The vegetables went down the bottom, and the what's it called, ginger came off the top, because this stuff doesn't take as long as the vegetables. So all you need to do to see if it's done is to see if it snaps, and that clearly snapped. So that is done. So I'm going to take all of those trays out, and then you have to let them cool, because this runs obviously at a slight temperature, so those are still warm. If you then go and put them straight into a plastic bag or a glass jar, then they'll get condensation and then they'll rot, so you don't want that. But let's have a quick check of the vegetables. This looks beautiful. It's so pretty. Okay, can you see? So the carrots are still bendy wobbly. They're no good yet. That piece of corn. Oh man, it's like, it's bloody lovely. It's like a little sweetie. Really delicious. Bigger piece of broccoli there. Still, it feels cooked, strangely, but nowhere near dehydrated yet. I'll spread these out a bit more now there's some more room on the tray in just a moment. But first, let's get this ginger out of here and get that cooling. So all I do is drop the dried pieces of ginger into a Tupperware tub, leave the lid off for an hour or so, like I say, just for that ginger to cool down, and then you can seal it up and it will last for months and months and months. And then every time you want to make a hot ginger tea, you just pour some boiling water into a cup, put 1 or 2 pieces of this in, let it steep for a few minutes and drink away. And Mum uses these, like I say, she drinks this stuff every day, and I'm pretty sure she uses the same couple of pieces of ginger all day, certainly for more than 1 cup. I shall have to ask her for clarification on that. Oh, silence. Right, Johnny is home from work, wanting to know what's for his tea. So
Where's my pudding?
I'm snapping on the rubber gloves and I'm going out stinging nettle picking, because we're going to have risotto tonight.
What?
That's not what you just said when I told you we were having risotto. We've got these little bacon bits, smoked bacon lardons, and I'm going to do a lardon and stinging nettle risotto, and it's absolutely delicious. So, I've got my doodah what's it, and I've got my snippy snappers, so let's go find some nettles. There we go, that looks just the perfect amount. Alrighty, here's dinner in the making. So this is nettle and pancetta risotto. You can find this recipe on my website. I'll leave a link to that below. So we've got risotto rice, we've got garlic. It's garlic and ginger. Don't care, don't tell anyone. It'll be fine. I've got a little pack, 100 grams of lardons. You can use bacon, pancetta, whatever you like. I think lardons and pancetta, I think they're pretty much the same thing. They're just different countries. So I don't know. Go and Google that one. A load of stinging nettles that I've washed and chopped up. Hot stock. This is just a stock cube with hot water from the kettle. Onion. I think that's it. Oh yeah, baby. Looky, looky, looky. How scrummy does that look? Delish. Damn, that risotto was incredible. And I've just got the blog page up from my website, And I first made that, or first wrote that in 2014. That is an absolute amazing dish. I can't believe we haven't eaten it probably since 2014. Definitely give that one a go if you've got any risotto rice and you can get your hands on some stinger nettles. Please give it a go. It's really very delicious. So that's me done for the day. I'm going to clean the kitchen down and then I'm going to shower and then I'm going to put my feet up, and I might throw this edit together. Like I said, it's going to be a very loose edit. And I might throw this up tonight if I'm done in time. If not, I shall publish it first thing in the morning. So I guess I'm going to catch up with you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the little escape to a little Cornish farm, and yeah, I'll give you a bit of more of a tour tomorrow, I guess. But I'll speak to you down in the comments. You take care, guys. Stay safe, look after yourselves, and I'll catch up with you soon. Over and out.